Nu ska jag låta en person komma fram till scenen som för första gången reser utanför Israel. När 3 judiska tonåringar blev kidnappade utanför Hebron av Hamas ville den här unga israeliska araben också visa att han står på Israels sida och de 3 kidnappade pojkarnas sida. Han postade en bild på sig själv och den israeliska flaggan och till Hamas löd ett meddelande: Bring back our boys. I bring you Yahya.
Hi friends, and thank you all for coming. My name is Yahya. I'm an Israeli Arab. I'm 17 years old, and I'm here to tell you a little story. On the 16th of June, I heard that there was 3 Israeli children that were kidnapped, and I was so angry that I've decided that this is enough. Those terrorists don't know where the red line is. They don't respect human rights, and I highly doubt that they are even humans. So I've decided to join a campaign. It's called Bring Back Our Boys. So I held the Israeli flag at home with a piece of paper that says, Bring Back Our Boys. And after 1 hour of that photo being posted on the campaign page on Facebook, a friend of mine called me and said to check my Facebook account now. And so I did, and I was so surprised to see my photo all over the local news pages, and everyone was writing hate comments. I'll hook you up to my pickup van and drag you until you die. This is one of the comments that I saw, but I've decided to keep a low profile, and this situation would end. And then, all of a sudden, I receive another call from someone that I don't know. He refused to say his name or give any details. He just said this: I'm the owner of a coffee shop, and I hear all the customers are talking about you, and I highly advise you to head to the police right now. At that moment, I realized that I was in a real trouble, so I head for the police station to file a report. And while I was there, I was reviewing my acts, and I wonder where I did something wrong to earn all of this hatred that I have received. And I've decided that I didn't do anything wrong. I held the flag of my country in my country, and I've expressed the disgusting of those acts. I have the right to speak freely in Israel, unlike our neighbors. We have more rights. Most importantly, we have freedom of speech, which only Israeli Arabs have that kind of right. The right to freedom of speech, which almost no country has that right. No Arab country has that right. I see Israel as the only democratic state in the whole Middle East, and I think we, as civilized people, we must support Israel because Israel is our friend. But still, Israel is surrounded by a lot of enemies who want to destroy it, even if that cost them their own lives. I remember that Hamas intentionally fired rockets at the checkpoint Kerem HaShalom, a checkpoint where humanitarian aid and medicine was going to the Gaza Strip. Their rockets even fall inside the Gaza Strip and sometimes in the West Bank. But the media and the people ignore those kind of facts. I think the media is playing a big role in this conflict, transmitting the wrong image or telling one side of the story. Sometimes I think their only goal is to attack Israel and show us as the bad guys. They show that Israel keeps targeting civilians. The IDF has dropped more than 400,000 leaflets since this conflict started, calling civilians and warning them on the radio. But Hamas, on the other hand, keeps telling the civilians to stay at home, ignore the Israelis' warnings, and I even saw a video of Hamas members hitting some civilians because they were afraid. They left their houses. They are afraid because and wanted to leave their houses before the Israeli Air Force strikes the terror underground at tunnels and facilities. This can give you an idea on how Hamas keeps using their civilians as human shields, which is against international law. Hamas has fired more than 11,000 rockets at Israeli civilians. Hamas keeps breaking the international law. We don't see the media talking about this, sadly, or the UN, a total blackout. And I see the media is responsible for the death of those civilians in Gaza because they show injured children and women on TV, and the terrorists see those kinds of things on TV and realize that this is working, this is supporting their propaganda. And as an ex-Muslim, I can tell you this, there is no difference between Hamas and ISIS and the ISIS members. They both want an Islamic state from the river to the sea, and they both want to enforce Sharia law. And we all saw the humanitarian crisis that ISIS just caused outside of our borders. Over 2,000 dead in just one day. But they don't talk about it. It's not important as they say. I hate when people who have no idea about the conflict or have even visited Israel start involving themselves in the middle of the story. They shout boycott, but they don't know that if they boycott Israel, it's gonna affect the people in the West Bank and especially the people in Gaza. On the 14th of December 2013, the Gaza Strip has been flooded by the sea and the heavy rain. So Israel stepped in with the 4 huge water pumps to clear the water. 60,000 liters of fuel to run the power plant, and some natural gas to keep the people warm and able to make food and stuff. All those materials came from the checkpoint Kerem HaShalom that I mentioned earlier. How did Hamas respond? On the 24th of December, after the water got cleared and the life continued in the strip, Hamas shot an Israeli civilian and they fired 2 rockets at Ashkelon. Those are the kinds of people that we have to deal with. They have no respect for Israel or the civilians in Gaza. During this conflict, the media didn't mention those acts that Israel did for the civilians of Gaza. I just wish that we can all live in peace, all together, because we can achieve so much with peace. Israel is an advanced country and the only democratic state in the Middle East, as I have mentioned before. And the world needs to realize this, that this is the time to step in. Eliminating those terrorists from the Gaza Strip is a priority for the Israeli government and for the Israeli citizens. Everyone is tired from this conflict. There is no civilized nation on earth that wants war and destruction. And let's not forget, that Israel is the only place in the Middle East where Muslims, Christians, and Jews can live in peace, living side by side together. Israel is where I can mess up kosher, and my Jewish friends laugh about it and then teach me how to keep it. Israel is where a Christian can be invited by his Jewish friend to join him for Shabbat. This is worth defending, fighting for, like to keep it. It's not just about the land. It's a whole new culture, a mixed culture, as I like to say it, to call it. And for myself, I hate to see people use my name to make Israel look bad. People who have never visited Israel, don't know how the life in Israel is, keep shouting apartheid, like if the Israeli government is being racist to us, Arabs. And I'm here standing in front of you as a live evidence, and I say that Israel is not an apartheid state, and some Israeli Arabs, thank you. And some Israeli Arabs like me are afraid to speak up their minds and express themselves. They're afraid that the same thing that happened to me will happen to them. And another teenager who stood up for Israel as well. You can only imagine how much hate mail I've received when that photo got published. But I'll never lose hope. And I know that I'm standing with the right side. And I hope for more and more Israeli Arabs will understand my point of view. Let's fight the real enemy here, the terrorist. Let's free Gaza, but free Gaza from Hamas. Thank you. And believe me when I say that every civilized person is not happy about the situation in Gaza. Injured civilians are never a good thing. We are all humans after all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your support. And thank you for supporting Israel, the only democratic country in the Middle East. And I really hope that we can all live in peace all together. Thank you. And Tobias Batterson.